So this is the third assignment in the trig unit for quiz 3 in algebra 2. This is dealing specifically with 30, 60, 90 and 45, 45, 90 special right triangles. And my advice to you on this is to use this page and get these labels. I used X instead of S, positioned around the right triangle appropriately. So I used X instead of S, which is okay. And that will tell you how to solve for X, and then you can go from there to figure out all the sides. There's a lot of questions that the SAT asks on these, so that's why I've included this. And it's very important that you do enough of these problems so that you know what's going on. So here, these must be both X's, and then this is the square root of 2X. So this is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. So that tells me, and in it, I mean, you can use this up here too. I mean, whatever works best for you. I like these labels because these labels are given to you on the SAT and you can just position them. So I know that B is going to be, so X is, let me come over here. My X terminology is this. So this side here, when I do this, is going to be 2 times 2 is going to be 4. Okay, so I know this is going to be a 4 here. This is 2 times the square root of 2. And this is going to be 2 times the square root of 2. So you can solve them that way. I like that way by putting around this the particular labels like that. This does not go over the X. Let me rewrite this. So the square root of 2X like that. And sometimes you're going to have to deal with square root reducing, and it's a bit annoying. So to solve for X on this, we need to do this. That equals 4, and then you would divide out. And so you can decimalize this, that's okay. What a lot of textbooks will do is they'll do this multiplying top and bottom. This ends up being the same right triangle as the one on number 1 by the square root of 2 to reduce it, and then you do 4 over 2. Whatever, you can decimalize it. Certainly you have a calculator where you can check your work. So these are both 2 times the square root of 2. And then this is side of 4. So you're just trying to figure out via these rules, these sides. And a lot of times it's not that, so you always can use right triangle trig. There's nothing at all wrong with that. It's just that the SAT makes a big enough deal of these so that you're forced to do this. So here's one with 30, 60, 90. So with 30, 60, 90, the 2X goes on the hypotenuse. The X goes opposite the 30, and the square root of 3X goes opposite the 60. So I know by looking at this, I can figure out 2X is 16, so X is 8. So that means that this side is 8, that side is 16, and then this side is 8 times the square root of 3. So you have to relabel it with X and then just get all the sides. That's all this is about. Here's another one. So 2X is the hypotenuse, X is opposite 30. So that must mean the hypotenuse, so X is 2, this side is 2. So that means this side is 4. And this is 2 times the square root of 3. So once you know what X is, you can go fill them all in as to what their sides should be. I think it's good to practice this enough so that you know what's going on. So here, your 2X is your hypotenuse. You ignore all the other labels. You ignore this. And you only pay attention to your labels that you put around this and the given numeric value. So X is 5. That means this is 5 and this is 10. And then that's 5 times the square root of 3. So you don't pay attention to, in all these problems, the U and the V, you get rid of that. the y here and the x, you get rid of that. Don't let them that confuse you. So you're relabeling it, get rid of that x and y, get rid of this a and b. So you're just putting those labels around the sides, xx square root of 2x, and then you can figure out what each side needs to be. You can also do right triangle trig all the time. And you can also use these, but these aren't available to you kind of in that written format on the SAT, but this is. So that's why I taught it that way, which can be a little confusing sometimes, but try to use this. It's what's available to you on the SAT. And that's the third assignment for the trig unit.